And I thought I'd bring this. I was in the ladies' room now, and I thought, I haven't read this for ages. So I thought, let's read it together. It's called Don't Quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but just don't quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns. I think every one of us always learns. And many a failure turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems far. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you mustn't quit. And you know, that's the new beginnings for this year. Don't quit. Don't give up. You know, Ramakrishna had this disciple, and the disciple was meditating every day for years. And you know how you meditate for a long time, it becomes boring, it becomes like, okay, nothing is really happening, what am I doing, am I wasting my time? In fact, over New Year's, I got a call from one of our students abroad. Nalanie, I'm starting to doubt now, meditating long, nothing is happening, you know, it's getting dry, why am I doing it, am I wasting my time? And I go, are you peaceful? He goes, I don't know. I said, are you living a good life? He goes, yes. Are you happier than you've ever been before? I mean, more peaceful than you were 10 years ago? Yes. So what isn't working? What do you expect? This white light to come down to your room and say, hi, I'm here. And he did exactly that. He laughed. And he goes, I'm doing everything I need to. I said, yeah, you're a good person. You're an honest man. You work hard for your living. You don't spend what you don't have. You care for others. Your free time, you teach free. You know, what is wrong with your life? I said, you know, probably you're just missing being with the energy that, you know, when you're living with people who are very cold, sometimes you think, what's the point, you know? Why am I here? What am I doing this for? And I said, you just need a lot of love. So I told him to come back and see all of us, you know? And I said, you never know. Ramakrishna had this disciple, I told him. And this disciple felt so bored. And then Ramakrishna told him, okay, just do one more day. One more day, do meditation. But this time I ask you to do it differently. He said, it's become very dry. Fill your heart with love. So this disciple thought, one day, what difference is it going to make? But because he loved his master, he listened. That night, he filled his heart with love, thinking nothing's going to happen. And that's the night when peace and communication with that love came to him. And the next morning, he ran to his master and he said, Master, if I hadn't spoken to you and I hadn't done that one more day, I would have never known that joy. So when it's the hardest, is when people give up. Don't. It's when you should hold on. Hold on to the truth. We have a sangha member in Spain. She's quite an incredible lady, and she wouldn't mind me telling you that she's just really full of love. She lost her daughter 5 years ago, her only daughter. And look how she found her, in a pool, dead. Nobody knows the reason. They think it's foul play, and police, nobody could find out. She never had an answer. And your only child, okay? She found her there. When she came to see me, she was in a very black world. And then she studied the sutras over the years. And then over the years, I've known her now, 3 or 4 years. What she's done, she's changed her entire life around. She looks after old people. She must be, 60 something, but she doesn't look it. She's so pretty and she dresses so well that, this is something you can't tell her age. And she goes and looks after these old people voluntarily, giving them hope, giving them spirituality. And this Christmas, she lost 3 of the people she's been looking after. 3, not 1. So, her dedication, suddenly there was nobody to dedicate to. So there was an emptiness, right? And she helped them die beautifully, by the way. And then she had legal problems, Spanish law with homes, even though she had done everything right. Now the government says she had to tear out her house. So everything was like, oh, not again. After she'd gone through all the bad time getting over her daughter and then all this trouble, lawyers, and she found out her lawyers were cheating her, and it was horrible. What did she do on her very worst day? She took the Bhagavad Gita out. She took out a page, which she read to me yesterday, and it said, the test come to show how strong you are. You can do this. The world is testing you. Don't be afraid. And guess what? She came to the class yesterday. She came to 2 classes yesterday, full of joy, full of laughter, and her world is literally crumbling down, because anytime they can just get her to, what did she say? Break down her house, break down her whole house. Yeah. And she's there so calm.
There's no license.
And and she was laughing with everyone. Yeah. And I thought, this is yoga in practice. Don't quit. And guess what? She hasn't quit, so somebody's found her another lawyer who thinks he can help her. And you see, they test you. The world comes and tests us. And if you can just accept and take these tools, all these are tools for you to use for when your heart is hit. And it's hard. And it's really hard when your heart hit. It's really hard. It's not easy. Pain is not easy. Suffering is not easy. And that's when you mustn't quit. It's horrible, but you can get through it. And that's the new beginnings of this year, new year. Don't put any great goals in front of you, because guess what? If you fail, you won't like yourself. And you say next year, and then you'll feel sick inside. Am I going to ever do it? You'll have that feeling. Make your goals very simple. You know what? I'm going to try and love each day. Finish. Do some good. Make a person laugh, if I can. And if I'm down, I'm going to try not to contaminate the world. Learn to sit in retrospect, keep myself to myself till I understand what I'm doing with my mind. And I'm really down because of loss of someone. Then let me sit with my friends and allow them to comfort me and allow them to love me. And be weak if I have to, and humble if I have to, and take all the love that I need. Because we all need healing, all of us. And that's how you deal, day to day, one thing at a time. And those are the biggest things you can do to lift somebody. We're talking about Nadia. Where are you, Nadia? We're talking about her. And her name means hope. Hope, what a lovely name. And I thought, what more can we give to the world than hope? Because without hope, if we give up, then we set the example of what for our children? What kind of future are we giving them? And now we're living in times of extreme difficulties worldwide and personally with many people's lives. Have you noticed? I've never seen so many deaths from cancer as I have seen the last 10 years. Everybody, I know everybody who's had somebody who's passed away, somebody close. It's been so much for us all to take. The world is bubbling literally with volcanoes. Mount Etna, as you know, is bubbling again. Everything is bubbling. And the reason why it's all bubbling is because now we're coming to a time on earth that the very, very darkness is filled with a lot of light. So there's a lot of confusion of thought in the earth. Why is that? Because we are all vibration, we're all atoms. You know that. We're made up of atoms. Scientific. You just have to look and study, go on the internet. It's the truth. That is the truth. We are made up of energy. That is the truth. The earth is also made up of energy. When you go home, simply, just it's logic, and you're in a bad mood, everybody in your home will be affected, right? The atmosphere will be horrible. So, why did I come home? Slam the door and go out, right? So if you can change the atmosphere of your home, imagine what you can do to the world. It's all energy. The walls feel it. Do you know your homes feel your energy? Did you know that? Hmm? If you go into a home where there's no argument, you walk in and you go, this feels wonderful. It soaks your energy. It's proven. Everything takes on. You know, when I left my little flat in Lanoria and I moved to my new home, I know you think I'm mad, but I'm not. It's just
Who would love to be as mad as you know?
That's mad.
It is, you know, because I talk to my home and every day I walk in and thank it for, I thank it for looking after me, keeping me warm. I thank it. I'm grateful, you know. And when I was leaving it 3 weeks before, everything started to leak. First the tap, tick, 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 tick. Okay, I don't want to leave this in a bad state because I want to sell it. I haven't sold it because I got too many projects after that. Okay, better fix it. Next thing, I go to my washing machine, goes wrong. My dishwasher goes up. And then I said to the house, I said, you're really sad I'm moving out. You're crying. It stopped. Everything stopped leaking. I mean it. I'm not joking. This has really happened, you know? And I've seen that with people. When they're angry in their homes, things start to break down. When you're frustrated, irons break, machines break, curtains pull off, you know? You notice when there's some negative thoughts, things go wrong. Haven't you noticed in your house?
And with cars also, it's happening to me at the moment.
Cars, yeah, they feel the vibration.
And all of a sudden everything's going wrong. I'm thinking, what's up with the car, like, you know? And I'm saying the same thing, like, you know, I'm sorry, but, you know, I have to change you because I don't want to, but, you know, I'm glad you brought me down. Because I'm obviously on that same road going mad as well.
Yeah, so, but, you know, they do, everything in life feels vibrations. And so, our difference is if we build up our vibrations, then we really do affect everything around us. It's a scientific fact. So this is why we have a duty. I really do believe as human beings, I'm sorry, I don't think me, I think all of us have become so selfish in our lives that our whole life is I, me, and mine, and this has happened to me, and that's happened to me, and da-da-da. How much are you going to talk about you? It's a bit boring after a while, right? How much are you going to want to need? How much can you stack up, you know? Didn't you feel nice this Christmas? Because Shanti said, let's give all the presents, donations to the center. Didn't you feel great? Because you don't have to worry after you open, you get little presents enough, you know where to put things. Haven't you had a year when you get so many presents and after you open them all, you kind of look like, a bit of panicky, what do I do with all this? I don't know if you felt it,
Yeah.
but I felt it's like, it's too much. I don't know what to do with it. So many people are in need. I have everything, you know, I have everything. I'm so rich, you know. And then when you get little, it's so happy, just more presents on the open under the tree every day with looking at them, excited. But when you get too much, you don't anymore enjoy it. Isn't it true? So it's kind of like that in our lives, you know. So, but we still get so enveloped, so hypnotized, so mesmerized by all the material things that are wonderful. I think everybody should have nice cars and nice homes, by the way. Nothing against that. But don't let them take you over. You got everything, then give whatever extra you have. You know, share it. But what's the best thing you can share? Let's be honest. You. There's nothing better than you. Us children. I talk a lot to children. The children get the most toys to play with and the parents go out, they're the most miserable. They're the most miserable. They're very unhappy. They want more because they've learned that only to get things will make them happy. They're miserable. But the children who have the parents talk to them, even though they're working, chat with them, laugh with them, spend quality time with them. Not saying, fix your bed and do this and do that, as so many people do all the time. I go, every time you see your child, you're shouting to do something. I wouldn't want to be home. There's no time in communicating. Come, let's do the kitchen together. Come. You know, I was having my aunt this Christmas, and my grandchildren came and stayed with me with my daughter. My poor daughter has a third one that's special needs, and of course she's going to be very busy because Talia's 24 hours. And the two grandkids, every morning, because I get up very early, 8 o'clock, they hear me after meditation, they run up. And I said, okay, should we just do the kitchen floor? But I'm not allowed to do it. Don't worry, Grant, shall we surprise Mom? Because if your mom comes out, she'll feel sorry for me and she'll want to do it. And I really don't want her to work so hard. Shall we do it and surprise her? Half an hour, floor swept, everything is done. And so happily. So happily. So it's not the children that are going wrong. It is us parents that are not working together to put so much pressure. You know, clean the kitchen. Who wants to clean the kitchen? Come, let's have fun. Let's surprise. Oh, do you see how it's polished? Look at the surface of my marble table. Doesn't it shine? Can you see the reflection of the light? Yeah, grand, really cool. Yeah. They love it. And you know this. We need to change the way we talk to people or work with people. You know, we are all children. We are all children. It's just that we don't. As you get more grown up, nobody praises you anymore. And then we lose that love, that hope, that joie de vivre, that, oh, you've done a good job. And then you want to do it more and more and more. Nobody tells us that. It's kind of quite dry when you get older, right? You're expected to do the cooking and the cleaning, or making the money for the family, and you got to do this and you got to do that, and you got to be so rich before anybody respects or loves you. So it becomes a very tiring. The human existence becomes very tired. And that's why so many people get depressed. What's the point? What's the point? So simply make your life so interesting, so loving, make it inspirational. Nobody can do it for you. But you can inspire yourself. You can get up every morning and say, I don't need to do anything. I don't have to live up to anybody's expectations. I just have to be me happily. I just have to be joyful. And then if you're not, what can I do? This is my nature. But let me not contaminate the world with my negativity. Introspect a little. Why am I feeling so unhappy when I have everything? The answer, your soul will answer you, there's something yet you have to do that you haven't understood. Because there's something like, do you get that feeling? I need to do it. I used to get it all the time, I remember. There's something I'm not doing that I should. I'm not listening to my inner voice. I'm listening to the material voice of the world. There was something my inner voice was telling me, but I couldn't hear it. And the only way you can hear that inner voice, as I have learned in all these years, is to sit quiet by yourself. By yourself. Start to know who you are, what your belief system is. Who am I? Okay, I have this personality that's been given to me. People have labeled my personality. Some people will say I'm nice. Some people say I'm snobbish. Some people will say, I'm silly. Some people say I'm addictive. Some people say I'm emotional. Who am I to me? Let's cancel out what everybody thinks of me. Who am I? What am I? This is the practice of the meditation. We call it Jnana Yoga. Who am I? What am I? When you know who you are, really who you are, then only can you hear the inner voice. Otherwise, there's too much outside noise. I remember when I was a teenager, I had a poster on my wall that said, I am not in this world to live up to your expectations. You are not in this world to live up to mine. You are you, and I am I. And if by chance we meet, it's beautiful. And then I remember reading it, because it was in my bedroom, I bought the poster, and of course 70s, hippie era, I was going to university, peace, love, all those things. It was a good period, because, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and then it was a period of finding yourself, and I was in an American university where, we would sit in a coffee shop drinking hot chocolate in University Hall, and we would say, what is life about? It was great. I was with a group of artists, musicians, and because my course was one I had designed for myself, because I wanted to be an art therapist, fine arts and child psychology. So I did. In America, you can do that. You can design your own course. And so I was with people who were questioning life like myself, What is life all about? Why am I here? Surely it's not just to get up in the morning, study, and do what? And I go, I always wanted to help children using art as a therapy, and most of us that had this feeling that we wanted to make a difference in the world were much more happy than those that came, I've got to make so many millions, and we used to compare, not nastily, but just, they're stressed out all the time. They were so stressed. There were goals and targets, and when they didn't get their targets, it was great disappointment. It was, as an artist, there's so many good artists, so long as you paint, you're happy. You build a sculpture, you put everything into it. It's like you put your love, your heart. So I learned very early on that part of us, that when we create something, we feel like a God energy running through our bodies. When we do something that comes from deep inside, whether a prayer, whether a poem, whether painting, or whether reorganizing, or whether teaching a child, whatever it is, or working with a computer, or working with a business with new ideas, creating to uplift as a team. Wherever you hear the word, when people speak in the language of we, let us do something together. There is a kind of harmony, and there is peace, and there's fulfillment. But where I have seen over my life, where there's been me, I have to get to the top, I have to do this, it's all about me, I have seen a destruction of spirit and sorrow. So what it's taught me is happiness comes from service. Happiness comes from feeling a part of a whole. I always say, when you have a delicious cake, when somebody gives me a delicious cake, like the other day, somebody visited my grandchild, she gave me a delicious lemon pie. It's not that when you see the whole thing, it's too much. Again, it's too much. And then all of a sudden, my son-in-law comes, another one comes, so many visitors, when I'm sick. Oh, great, I have a cake to share. Do you know, it makes you happy. And I'm so grateful to the lady who gave me the cake, because I had nothing at home, because I couldn't shop much, and I could give everybody that cake. And sharing made me happy. And I have learned, just as sharing made me happy, that lady who made me the cake was very happy to give it to me as well. So we were all happy. And the person who ate it was happy as well. Oh, now they're so hungry. This is delicious. Did you make it? No. I didn't, but it's delicious. I'm so glad you can eat it, because I'm not allowed to have so much sugar at the moment. What I'm trying to tell you here is, if you look at your life, it's not the big things, Don't think you're going to be so happy by the big things. It's all an illusion of the mind. It's an illusion. It's not truthful. It's really the little things that can make you so happy. So why are we always constantly chasing after things that really have no substance, The substance is here and now, at this moment. That's the only thing we can Okay, is your legs hurting you? Are your legs hurting you? Sure? Okay.
Okay.
If you need another cushion or anything, just let me know, all right? Look at this lovely little one coming to the promenade. She's so cuddly, huh? She's so cuddly. So, what was I saying?
It's about sharing the lemon cake.
Yeah, and ask yourself, when you have a group of friends over and you're just so comfortable with them, when are you comfortable with them? When you are comfortable with you. When you're willing to share the real you, not this pretense, oh, I have to appear like this in front of this person, I can't show my feeling, hello, goodbye, yes, you said nothing. It's such a boring existence. Somebody needs to do that. Oh my God, can't they see it? Can't they see it's such a joke? And everybody knows it, and everybody's taking part in this play, and they're oblivious to it. All this is so fake. And then they come to me maybe a year later and go, why is my life so boring? So it's really boring. You know? And a life can be so interesting when you just go beyond the material and and go the material is there for us to enjoy, definitely, but when we can go beyond our obsession towards anything material, including our own body, it's the obsessiveness that human beings seem to have that causes so much trouble. And we can really enjoy it all when we know, really, really, really know that. Go back to the question of Jnana Yoga. Who am I? Who am I? Are you your body? Yeah. Not. When you die, you leave it behind. Sorry. Mine will be ashes for sure. I want cremation. And in case I'm not around, throw me in the sea, please.
I like it.
Because I may not be around to watch it, you know. I don't want to fly to another planet. Because I'll be energy, which means I can go anywhere I choose. I won't have a body to tie me down. But at the same time, the body is a real gift. In yoga, we say there are three really, if you have a human body, you're definitely blessed. If you have the urge to find your spirit while you live in a human body, you are really blessed. And when you have a guide to help you find that spirit within, the best blessing. And we've all been so lucky to have a great master who taught us, like Lord Jesus, truth is one, paths are many. To love all, serve all. The teaching is so pure. It doesn't go into the occult. It doesn't tell you to try anything weird, these weird things, let's do this spell. You don't want to go, that's all mind stuff. It'll make you sick, it'll make you obsessed, it will give you power because they exist. These things do exist. But what is the point of the power? It's only useful when you're alive, and why would you want to control somebody else's mind and somebody else's life? Why would you want to do that when your life is the most precious life? And this is where we should be looking. And we got the best kind of pure teaching as Lord Jesus, as Buddha, simply the middle path. Live each moment simply. None of the fancy stuff. How many people come into yoga thinking they can be famous? Or rich? Now it's become a fad, hasn't it? It's not about that. Yoga, what is the meaning of yoga again and again and again?
Union.
Union. What with what?
With your peaceful self.
With your true self. With the lower self, which is our minds on this earth, that's attached to everything. And the higher self, which is the energy, or God, or Jesus, whatever you want to call it. Really, words do not matter to me. It's all the same. But that higher self, that in you which you love, that in you which you respect. You know when you do something horrible, when you tell a lie, there's something in you that feels a bit sick inside. You don't feel good about you. You know it. So why do you keep doing it? Why? Nobody's doing it to you. There's no God telling you, oh, this is your karma, you got to do that. What is karma? Cause and effect. That's the freedom we've been given. Our destiny is here because of many things we've done in many past lives. But we have the choice at this minute to change it. That's the only thing we have. We reap what we sow. So yoga is learning, really in a way, to control destiny by changing now. It's the only way you can do it. Can't do it any other way. So in order to see that beautiful destiny ahead of you, which is the perfect plan for us, even a mother and a father wants the best for a child. Why would not this energy that we call God want the best for us? Who destroys us? There's no God that punishes. It's just a dynamic energy. And when we work with our higher self, wow, magic. When we work with our lower self, depression, anger, greed, lust, lies, one karma after another. One madness after another. I don't understand why people do that. I really kind of logically, you just have to look, why would you want to hurt somebody else or scream at somebody else when you know you're creating a whole life of misery ahead of you? It's common sense not to do that. When you lie, you're like all the time, what did I say? What did I say? Why would you want to live in that misery? Why? Because of a little temptation? Better not to have that temptation and be in peace. Why do we sell our souls and peace for a little moment of joy or pleasure? And it's so short. I remember once this woman was having an affair, and she's given me the right to tell her story. She told me to, actually, so people could learn from it. And she came to me really, really depressed, and of course the first time she came to see me, she was already seeing a doctor and was on a lot of antidepressants. So I talked to her, and she said, oh, I'm depressed. I found she was a very good Catholic woman, very high morals, everything. So I said, so why are you on these antidepressants if your life seems so good, She burst out crying. She said, I'm having an affair. And I said, boy, what for if it's making you so miserable? Why are you doing it? And then she said to me, well, my husband is a bit boring. And how long have you been married? 15 years? I said, no. I said, why don't you become a bit interesting to him? See, we're so easy to blame. I said, you've gone off with this other man. And then she goes, yeah, and I'm lying to him all the time. Lying to my husband all the time. I said, that's why you're taking the tablets, because you can't face yourself. Is it worth it? 1 hour of thrill, hiding, going to a nasty hotel, making you feel cheap and worthless, for 23 hours of misery. Why would you do it? To yourself. Nobody's doing it to you. Oh, but Nalanie, you don't understand how wonderful it is. Then why aren't you happy? Do you see? Why aren't you happy? It's so wonderful. And she really thought about that, but she said, I think I'm addicted. So I said, look, I'm not going to ask you to leave the affair right now because it's going to be too hard. You're not ready. I'm going to ask you to really work on your Catholic principles, And, if you decide to go off with this man later on, good, but lying is really not nice. And it's really not nice what you're doing to your husband. He's a good man. He really loves you. He has no idea. You're hurting him too much. be able to find self. You break him. Do you really want to break another human being? If you don't love him, better to tell him finish and go. No, but I don't want to leave him. And I said, that's really selfish. That's not Catholic at all. Catholic for me is universal, right? So I said, okay, give yourself time, come to all the talks, do some hatha yoga, do some meditation, read your New Testament, whatever you believe in, just read good things and give yourself time. She did. She came. That time I was here teaching every Tuesday and Wednesday. I was living in Gib, and she came every week for her appointment. And then after 6 months, she said to me, she said, Nalanie, I think I'm ready to leave him, the affair. I said, are you sure? She said, yes, I've really thought about it, and I can't do it anymore. I can't lie anymore. I said, good. So what she did is, she did break up with this guy she was having an affair with, who had a wife and 2 kids, and was much younger than her. And she came crying. She said it was harder than I thought. I said, don't worry, you'll suffer for 2 or 3 days and you'll be fine. And she goes, oh, he's cried. He said he loves me. What am I doing? I said, really? He loves you so much? I said to her, I bet you in no time, in 3 or 4 months, you'll find another woman. Guess what? 1 month later, 1 month later, he was having an affair with another woman, and he got caught by his wife. And you know, his poor, and I said to her, she came to me and she told me, right? Because she was so, the gods love me, I'm saved. Can you imagine? It could have been me. And she said, how could I be so blind to think he was, and for 1 month I'm thinking, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? I said, the gods really love you. They really love you. Now you see so clearly that even that little desire to have him that you had left over is gone. See what a creep he is? All that word, all those words. If he can cheat on his wife, he can cheat on many people in his life. Do you really want? And you, I said, do you know what you were doing? I was like him, but I said there's a difference. You tried to fix it, and you did, and the gods are on your side. They saved you because you really put an effort in. So, and she told me, tell my story, and I've told it all over the world. Because it's see how we put ourselves in this dark cloud, and we convince ourselves it's all right, it's okay, you know, everybody does it, but you have to live with you. It's okay if she really wanted to go off with him, but she has to do it honorably. You know, when you stick to the golden rules, there's no fear, there's no guilt, there's no depression. Because you've done it honorably. And honor is a very good thing in our lives. And it makes us like ourselves more. Well, anyway, needless to say, right after that, she threw all her antidepressants down. She didn't need it anymore. She was free again to love, to laugh. Most of all, to be comfortable with herself. To be comfortable with herself. To live with her. You know, because she couldn't before, and that's why the antidepressants. I can't live with my thoughts, I can't live with who I am. And when she found out that she's really not a bad person, she was a beautiful person. She just wasn't living who she was, that's all. And she made the attempt to change things. You know that great prayer we all love? Lord, grant me the tranquility to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's what she did. First, the tranquility, and then the courage to change herself, and finally wisdom came in. We don't make the effort, it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, when you give up anything in life that is so addictive, it's very hard. It's very hard, it's very painful, it's not easy. But the Yoga Sutras say our great Yoga Sutra texts say that this burning that you feel, when you burn for something better to become better, what happens is you develop, after you go through the burning period, what we call siddhis. Siddhis are powers that make you strong in the mind and the soul.
We need to go.
Okay, please do. Thank you
Back
for
to work.
coming. Enjoy your work this evening and inspire all with hope.
Thank you.
Become the light that you are. That's the secret.
But we come tomorrow,
Okay.
6 o'clock.
Who is
We
giving
come
a
tomorrow,
class?
6 o'clock.
Tomorrow is a hatha class. You can do the hatha.
Ellen, I think.
6.
Exercise.
6 o'clock is
6 o'clock. Yes, the postures. Yes.
Yeah, it's the postures, you know. Do that. It's good for the body and good for your knees
Thank you.
And
Thank
good for
you.
the mind.
and good for the mind. Yeah. Bye. Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So you know, yoga is about looking after your body, your mind, and your spirit. We have the body. Don't deny it. It's our gift. Look after it. You know. Look after it. Don't be obsessive over it, but look after it. It's the tool. It's the tool, as Saint Francis says. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where can the Lord make? Where can we become that instrument? Only in this body. Only in this body is a gift. So we need this body. And then he says, and then we have to look after the mind. Our mind, because the mind has thoughts, and the thoughts are connected with the things that happen every day. So again, if you're not really the body, then you're really also not the mind. The mind is here for you to make decisions and do things while you're on this earth. And then finally, so we have to look after our mind to make sure that all the right thoughts are in it to keep us healthy. Healthy thoughts make a healthy person. And you know, you hear things go wrong. That's life. Life is a university. We're studying. We're studying about our spirit. That's why we're here. This is the school where we learn who we are. And when you go to school, you pass some exams, you fail some exams. You don't like school, boy, are you in trouble, right? You get in trouble all the time. You accept school and the exams even though you're not good, and at least you get a pass and you come out of it, and then you can enjoy university life and you can enjoy life. But it's a university to learn about the spirit. So when we keep the clean mind, clean thoughts, loving thoughts, and then finally, when those thoughts are so clean, as yoga says, yogas chitta vritti nirodha tada drastuhe swarupe vastanam, which means when you learn to restrain those thoughts, what happens when you have some control over those thoughts? Then the seer abides in its own true nature. So when the thoughts are very quiet and peaceful, and you see, oh my God, this is where God sits in my heart. Here. When I'm peaceful, I feel this God. And of course, when you're peaceful, not thinking, I, me, mine, this God is energy everywhere. And when your mind is on a higher plane, you will receive whatever information you need on what to do with your life. Now, nobody can do it for you. I can do it for me, but I can't do it for you. You have to do it for you. And of course, the moment you stop practicing on yourself or working on yourself, you're going to lose it. Because why? We have such a strong habit from so many lifetimes to be so human. We've asked for this journey. We've asked for this journey. And we can make the journey, we can make this life a heaven or a hell. In the worst possible situations, you can decide heaven or hell. Last night I locked myself out of my house.
Oh, I tell you about it.
Oh, Terry was there, and Shanti was there. Thank God, the yoga hall is right next to my house. I have to go out to the terrace, to go into the yoga bar. So my front door, I always leave a lock, and it's Fort Knox because I live alone, so my husband taught me security is very important. So I put my key in the front door and subconsciously double lock it, left the key in. I go out through the back door, which is a glass door that links me to the yoga center, which I built. You shouldn't close those glass doors because they automatically lock. As far as I remember, I know that, so I didn't remember that I closed it, but who knows. Anyway, we finished the talk, and Shanti was going to give a hatha class after my talk. Everybody's saying goodbye, goodbye. They leave, she's giving a class, Terry's in the class. They said, I'm going home. Glass door shut, can't get in. Shanti, the day before I'd given Shanti a copy of my house keys. No worries now, you got your house keys. Oh, you carry on with your class with Terry. I'll go through the front door and open the door. Guess what? Double lock, and the key's in the lock, so the lock's not gonna work. So I go, uh-oh, I go back into the class. She's giving Terry a class peacefully. I said, I think I can't get home tonight. And then they both go. I said, carry on with your class. Don't worry. So I start washing the dishes in the kitchen. They both come. In the kitchen of the yoga center, and she goes, I said, just let me wash dishes and decide what to do with this. I was like, clear the mess while I'm thinking, and they both come up, we can't leave you alone. I said, I don't want to disturb your class. And she, no, we can't leave you not getting into your house. So end up having yoga class, these two get dressed, and we just start laughing. I find it so funny. I find it so funny. So she goes, I have the number of a locksmith. Why would you have a number of a Terry? How do you do it? She calls the locksmith. We're all laughing at this. No hassle, no problem. We'll get it. Calls the locksmith. 15 minutes, he says, I'm coming. Where on earth do you get that happen for you?
Yeah.
15 minutes. Right person who stayed there. She never gives the hatha class. It was the first time after the talk. Thank God Terry was there because nobody stayed last night. It was so cold. Everybody wanted to get home. But Terry stayed, so Shanti stayed. So can you imagine if they both didn't stay? I would be left alone wondering what to do. I would have gone to a neighbour. I'm not silly, but I had no phone. I had nothing on me. So it was quite funny. When my reason for telling you this story is, I have seen in our lives when we start to panic and worry, nothing works. I thought, my head, I thought, wash some plates, worst comes to worst, sleep in the yoga room. I'm going to Jib tomorrow, she's coming for me at 9 o'clock, I'll just wear the same clothes and see what happens. It's the worst. Not gonna happen. I'll go next door and borrow the phone. But when you're so relaxed with everything comes to very quickly. I mean, the chances of somebody having a locksmith's number in her diary is quite unusual. I both was Terry, I was saying, Shanti, why would you have a locksmith? She put all the numbers in my diary. 2 years ago it happened to me, so I thought, I'll put it in. So, and everything works to help you. And that's what I have noticed in my life, and that's the magic. It's a magic. There's, yes.
Can I share something else?
Please come so people can see your face.
Okay.
Can you
It's just
turn around? They can't see you.
Facials.
Yeah.
The thing is that when I came back from England on Sunday, I had my purse on my lap, and when we crossed over, I said, put my ID back into the purse. We arrived home, Prince Edward's Road, and there was no parking, so I had to jump out of the car quickly so my husband could drive away. And the purse must have dropped off my lap onto the street, and I didn't notice until the following day. And I'm looking forward, I'm thinking, where's the purse? It's got money in it, my cards, my credit cards, my pension, everything, my driving license, everything. I'm looking everywhere for it, You're laughing because you think, what can you do? And then you think, now what? I've got to change everything. I don't hear anything. But the funny thing is that yesterday evening, I was telling my son, so I'm getting into my account here to see whether I have any money after Christmas. And guess what? Someone had been using my card. So if I hadn't cancelled the card yesterday, they would have got more money out of my account. So even though I've lost my purse, it happened, at the right time. Because if I hadn't lost it, with the card which I cancelled at the bank,
Somebody had already been using it.
my card, yeah.
Oh my God.
So just as well I had to cancel the card, you know, the bank. So now where it was, you know, we'll have to investigate obviously. But now, you know, so what I'm trying to say is that things happen sometimes for a reason. And although it's very annoying that I'm not going to change all my cards and everything, if it hadn't had happened, I would have been worse off today, you know? So,
Well, that's what happened to Neil Gopal, you know, that he's coming next week. One of somebody from Oaxaca is coming next week, works with special needs. And he did a transaction over the internet. He'd been working in business for many, many years, and then he decided to dedicate his life to helping people, to have a life with more meaning. Anyway, he had his money, and he did a transaction over somebody's computer. And the next thing he knew, the next time he went to his bank, he had nothing left. All his years of work gone. How horrible, no? And yet he's still now doing things with special needs. He had to start again. And Simon, remember Simon? Another guy, another yogi. He had sold his house in England, bought something in Spain, all his investment, and then he finds out from his lawyer it's all illegal, and the problems he's had with it. You know, and then you see these people with their positivity and you know, how they get themselves out of it through the right science, the right way, not being angry, not revengeful, just doing it the right way, how they are looked after, how they, you know, become again, and this time even better, even stronger, you know. And I've watched this so much now that I've been, you know, working with people for 20 years, and seeing that the people who do practice the science come out so well. Not only do they come out so well, they have so much compassion for others who don't come out so well. So then they become light beings in the world. Themselves, they become light beings. And this is what we really are. You have to ask yourself, who am I? We are light, sound, and energy. That's all we are, and that's why the yogis use meditation. They say when you really know who you are, you'll see a bright star. You'll see a bright star, and you are that light. She talked about stars today. And they say another thing is you hear sounds, right? The mantras, vibration, because we're made up from that original, you know, Big Bang. And you know, there's a great physicist. If you can get hold of this DVD, it's really interesting. It's called The Black Hole. WHOLE. One of my students in Spain lent it to me, and then he gave it away from me, so it's okay. So I can't lend it to anybody, sorry. But it's a physicist who has proven that the black hole, which scientists have tried to say for years is nothing in it, is full of what we call God. And guess what the design of this is? He's actually worked it out mathematically. Interesting, huh? All geometrical shapes.
Wow.
You just try, it's all scientific. It's so interesting because science is proving there is a God. And then he goes into all the old ancient sculptures that show you where the secret of life is in the spirit. At the end of his documentary, that's what happens. And where all the messages are hidden in the yantras and in the lions that protect the information for people who will misuse it. Because throughout time, there's always been people who've misused the light force. And we've seen it in religions, we've seen it in politics. They've used it for their own means, you know? And it wasn't meant for that. We're all one, and all these geometrical shapes tell us that we are just one from this big. We chose to have a human experience, which is the highest form of experience, because on our planet, we are the only beings on this planet, and many, many more planets that have the ability to see and learn that we are spirit. No other species has this ability. Not only do we have the ability to do that, we have the ability, when we work in our higher self, to work alongside what we call the God energy. Because when we work with that energy, we become inspired, we become lights. We have that choice. It's not forced upon us. It is a choice. And that's why, until you don't follow that voice, you will not find fulfillment. You won't. People don't find joy and peace until they follow that God voice from within them. Because we have a job to do. And this is a time where many people will say we're living in very difficult times. I think we're living in very wonderful, wonderful times. Wonderful. It's exciting. There's a lot of light in the world. So now we have the light. We have to bring in the light to the world. And the only way to bring in light to the world is become light. Don't be so heavy. Don't be so depressed. Oh, yes, there's enough going on there. You don't need to add more depression to the world. There's enough of it. You want to do something for the world? Be joyful, be happy, communicate, love, sing. Be an example. Live morally, live well, love yourself, respect yourself. That's the new beginning. Do things that make you like you more. And how I learned to do that is watch my master. What did I like in him? And all the great saints and sages. Why did I fall in love with Jesus? Why did I fall in love with Buddha? Why did I fall in love with Mother Mary or Goddess Saraswati? Why? Because of their traits. Their traits. And they said, do as I do. Not put me on a temple and worship me like this and help me, do it for me. Easy way out. Even if you tell your parents, do it for me, they'll do it for you when you're small. When you're bigger, they'll say, do it yourself. Do it yourself. You're old enough, you know. And if they don't allow you to do it for yourself and they mollycoddle you and they do it for you, you never get strong. Haven't you noticed that the men and women that are brought up mollycoddled by their mother or father, they never are happy. They're always insecure. They are scared to face the world. They're scared to travel. They're scared to go anywhere. They stay in that fearful small world. So it's not really good to mollycoddle anyone. So if you're allowed your freedom, you can grow. You make your mistakes, but you grow. So the same way, the divine energy allows us to make our mistakes. And suffering and pain are part of the mistakes and part of the learning. They come with both. And then we go, okay, this suffering has come to me for a reason. So that I can become strong. If every bit of suffering is taken away from us, we'll be spoiled brats. And when it comes to the time when we have to die, we're going to say, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. We're too scared. And we all have to. So let us prepare ourselves for that time by living well now.